basic balance sheet brought down the British Empire. Most people learn that empires fall in war, but Britain's story is different. Britain won its wars. In 1939, it ruled a quarter of the world, and its banks supported global finance. 17 years later, things changed. Britain lost its financial independence to the United States, not through invasion or revolution, but because of debt. If you think this story is just history, it is not. The United States is heading down a similar path in 2026. To see how this happened, let us go back to 1913, where it all began. London, 1913. If you were there, you would feel secure. Money passed through your city before anywhere else. Railways in Argentina were financed in London. Ports in India were managed from London. Trade between continents was settled in pounds. You are the creditor. The world owes you. Then, 1914 comes. The First World War did not just cost lives. It also damaged balance sheets. You cannot pay for a modern war with savings. You borrow instead. Each month, the costs rise. Ships, ammunition, soldiers, and interest. By 1918, your national debt has soared almost 10 times higher than before the war. You are no longer the lender. Now, you are the borrower. The United States now funds you. Your former colony has become your creditor. Then, in 1925, you decide to return to the gold standard at the old rate, as if the war had never happened. It is as if the debt does not matter, or as if prestige can change the numbers. The pound is set too high. Exports slow down. Factories struggle. Unemployment goes up. To protect the currency, you keep interest rates high. Growth slows even more. You spend as if you are still the world's banker, but you are borrowing like a debtor. Once that gap appears, it never closes quietly. You convince yourself that the worst is over. It is 1926, 8 years since the war ended. The empire still covers maps in red. The pound is still used worldwide, and London remains a global centre. But inside the treasury, the numbers tell a different story. You return to gold in 1925, at the old pre-war rate, to prove Britain was still Britain, to prove that the war had not changed the hierarchy of the world, but the war did change it. Your debt is almost 10 times higher than in 1914. The United States is now the world's biggest creditor. Your currency is overvalued, making your exports too expensive. Coal from Wales, steel from Sheffield, textiles from Manchester. You cannot compete. Orders drop, and whole towns watch their factories close. Unemployment rises. By the late 1920s, entire industrial regions were stagnating. Then, 1929 arrives. The global financial system shakes. American markets crash. Credit tightens. And trade collapses. Look at Britain's position more closely. They see high debt. They see weak exports. They see an overvalued currency. They begin to attack the pound. By 1931, the pressure is too much, and gold leaves the Bank of England. Reserves drop quickly. You can defend the exchange rate, or you can defend the country. You cannot do both. So in September 1931, you abandoned the gold standard. If you are enjoying this video, please subscribe. Leaving gold lets you survive. 1931, the pound drops nearly 30%. Suddenly, British exports are cheaper. Orders slowly return. Factories reopen. The pressure eases. It finally feels like you can breathe again. Sterling stabilizes because you still control an empire. Your colonies hold reserves in pounds. Imperial trade keeps demand alive. You have not regained your former dominance. You've only bought time. Then Europe changes. By 1935, Germany is rearming, so you start rebuilding your own military. Aircraft production increases, and naval programs grow. But now, you are rearming without financial strength. Then, 1939 arrives. World War II begins. At its peak, more than half of your entire economy goes to military spending. Civilian production collapses. Gold drains. Foreign investments are sold. You are burning up your last reserves. By 1941, you run out of dollars and cannot pay for weapons or food imports from abroad. State steps in with lend-lease. It looks like a partnership. It operates like leverage. To survive, you give up imperial trade preferences and accept American financial terms. By 1945, your debt was close to 250% of GDP. You win the war, but now your survival depends on your creditors. Eventually change the system. The next meeting will decide who controls the world's money. It's 1944. The war is not even over. Your cities are scarred. Your treasury is strained. You are surviving on American supply lines. And yet, you are invited to a hotel in New Hampshire, Bretton Woods. You arrive knowing one thing. You need dollars. Your chief negotiator, John Maynard Keynes, proposes a neutral international currency, a system that does not leave any one nation in control. The plan is elegant and fair, but it does not matter. The Americans have the gold, the credit, and the leverage. Harry Dexter White presents their plan. The dollar will be backed by gold at $35 an ounce. Other currencies will peg to the dollar. Global trade will clear through Washington. You argue, you adjust, you negotiate, but you are negotiating from dependency. You need post-war loans. You need continued support. You need reconstruction funding. So you agree. On paper, it seems like cooperation. In reality, it is a power handover. For over a century, global trade used pounds, but now the dollar has become the reserve currency. You still have bases, colonies, and a navy, but you no longer control the system. Money and credit now flow through America, and power follows where money moves. The war ends, and you win, but victory comes at a high cost. Your debt is near to 250% of GDP. Gold reserves are low, and overseas investments are gone. You need dollars just to buy food. So in 1945, you got a huge loan from America. It keeps the country running, but also makes you dependent. Troops are still stationed across the empire, and administrative costs continue. The global presence remains, but now every overseas base comes with a cost you cannot ignore. Now, Washington holds the privilege, so when you run trade deficits, you cannot count on global demand to cover them automatically, and you do run deficits. Britain consumes more than it produces. Imports exceed exports. Reserves drain. Pressure builds on sterling. In 1949, you devalued the pound from $4.03 to $2.80. Great powers are not supposed to devalue their currency, but you do. You are trying to keep up appearances without the benefits of reserve status, and the gap between your ambitions and your finances is growing again. Then, in 1956, someone challenges your authority, and this time, the response will test more than your military. July 1945, Egypt's president, Gamal Abdel Nasser, announces that Egypt will nationalize the Suez Canal. You own 44% of the canal company. It is your artery to Middle Eastern oil. It is a symbol of imperial reach. This seems like open defiance, so you choose to respond. In late October, Britain, France, and Israel launched a joint operation. Israeli forces move first, followed by your airstrikes and paratroopers. Militarily, it works. The canal zone is captured within days. On the ground, you are winning. Then Washington steps in. President Eisenhower opposes the invasion, and this time, his opposition is serious. The United States threatens to dump its British pound reserves. It signals that it will block your emergency loan from the International Monetary Fund. Sterling faces immediate pressure, and your foreign reserves start dropping by over £100 million each week. You are days from a full currency collapse. Now, the truth is unavoidable. You still have troops in Egypt, but you do not control the financial system. You have a choice. Keep the canal and lose the pound, or withdraw and admit dependence. Within 11 days, you pull back. The empire does not fall to an army. It bends to its creditor. From that moment, the decline becomes real. You come back from Suez weaker than before. Every leader in your empire saw what happened. London acted, but Washington made the decision. That changes everything. Independence movements speed up, negotiations take on a new tone, and the belief in the empire's permanence fades. You still have the empire, but now it seems costly. Throughout the 1960s, the pressure did not let up. You continue running trade deficits and defending the sterling, trying to maintain living standards without the benefits of a reserve currency. In 1967, the pound was devalued again. by another 14%. Reserve currencies are not supposed to blink twice. This time, there is no illusion. The Prime Minister appears on television to insist the pound in your pocket has not really lost value. But markets understand arithmetic better than speeches. Inflation rises, growth stalls. Strikes paralyze the industry. The Britain earns a new nickname in Europe, the sick man. Sterling collapses again, and the country that helped design the post-war financial system now goes to the International Monetary Fund for a bailout. You accept spending cuts and the conditions that come with them. The empire that once financed the world now operates under outside supervision. Suez did not end the empire, but it proved the empire could end. Now, let us look at things from a different angle, because there is another nation today acting as if financial gravity barely exists. And if we go by the numbers, it looks like history is going to repeat itself soon. In 1971, the United States did what Britain did in 1931. It leaves gold. The dollar is no longer redeemable, for metal becomes backed by confidence alone. But unlike Britain, America keeps its reserve status. Oil is priced in dollars. Global trade is settled in dollars, and central banks hold dollars. That privilege changes everything. Since 1975, the United States has run persistent trade deficits. Year after year, it consumes more than it produces. When you control the reserve currency, consequences come more slowly because the world needs your money. So borrowing increases. There are wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, financial crisis bailouts, and pandemic stimulus. The national debt is over $35 trillion. Debt to GDP is nearing 120% and still rising. America now borrows about $7 billion each day to fund its operations. Interest payments are expected to exceed $1 trillion a year, potentially more than defense spending. At the same time, more than 750 military bases are active in over 80 countries. Britain lost its money, but kept its empire for a while. America is losing its financial balance, but is still maintaining its global presence. The dollar has lost over 86% of its purchasing power since 1971. Confidence still holds. But Britain's did too, until it did not. What do you think? Is America forcing its financial reality? Or is it defending its prestige like Britain did before Suez? Share your thoughts in the comments. History does not just repeat, it rhymes. So make sure you are listening for the next Money Echoes. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.